this would be borderline disrespectful if we didn't start out without saying, I don't know if I will miss anyone in Hollywood. Like Chadwick Boseman is up there with Robin Williams for how much I respect certain people.
Same.
Rest in peace, Chad. If this was the thing you got to go out on, you could not have asked for something better. I told Mike right before we started, this is the best animated thing Marvel's ever done. I'm counting every cartoon series they've ever made, all the random one-off movies. None's touched this. This is on another galaxy compared to everything they've ever made. I'm still dumbfounded at how good this was.
Yeah, we'll try to put words to describe this.
We were talking right before air, and I don't know if it's even possible that like precognition exists. And Marvel was just like, there's going to be this dumbass named Brock Hatfield that's going to watch the first episode and go, man, I really wish they would have went more all out and didn't remix certain things and just kind of just freaking went balls to the wall. It was completely different. Just so we could make him look like an absolute asshat when this next episode comes out and they do everything that he wanted. First off, minor detail that they never mention. They only show. The ship is called the Mandela.
That's cool.
That is freaking amazing. Because it was called the Milano because Star-Lord had his crush on her. The fact that you have young T'Challa already is that big of a fan of Nelson Mandela. That's just, it is hard to put how well they nail a character in every way humanly possible that they did with this Star-Lord version of T'Challa in this episode.
So just to point out another detail, T'Challa was abducted in 1988. So he would have been just old enough to like, know about the world, but he's also in Wakanda, so he's got like all the best resources.
Exactly. And man, this might be one of the funniest things also that Marvel's ever put out. Like,
oh yeah,
Korath, the remix version of him being the #1 Star-Lord fanboy is the best decision they've ever made.
And I love how Jaimin Hansu gets to just... This is the first time in a while he's actually gotten to act. Yeah. And I know how weird that is to say because, he's been in movies for like, I want to say at least like 30 years.
Yeah.
But in recent years, he's always only been like either a brief cameo or he'll have a major role, but it's like he just kind of like he gives a very stoic performance. But here he gets to really he gets to really show his range.
Yeah, I made the comment that they had a Looney Tunes style outro thing in the middle there. They are setting the mood that this is them going, we got some people that are pretty good at writing comedy. And when they get a chance to write it, they're going to go because I was dying laughing every time. It was kind of just like triple cross. Oh, classic Star-Lord. It's just all this stupid. Every line he said hit. It never missed. I was just like, that is a character that if they did not write it correctly would get old so fast. But they wrote him to a T. And they had so many different genre things mixed into here. And it's like out of nowhere, they made Nebula like the 80s bombshell, like noir character with like flowing blonde hair. What?
I was not prepared for that.
No.
I mean, I was.
Cha-cha?
Before I watched this episode, I saw like stills of like T'Challa in the Star-Lord suit and a blonde Nebula. I didn't have any context, so it's just like, oh, okay, that's what you're doing there. Yeah. But man, this short or this episode, I you could tell how excited we were because we jumped way past the synopsis.
I don't even know what to give you for a synopsis because this thing was nuts. Like, if you want to give one, go ahead.
Okay, so the question for this episode is, what if T'Challa became Star-Lord? So in the previous episode, the deviation was Peggy goes into the chamber instead of Steve. In this, the deviation is somehow the Ravagers end up in Wakanda, but T'Challa's like he's basically singing a Disney "I Want" song without singing the song.
And then when Craiglin picks him up, he's like, "Does this look anything like Peter Quill to you?" And then Craiglin's like, "You got two ear holes, two sea holes, and one eat hole. All these humans look the same." Oh my god! It's just like I, within 2 minutes of watching this episode, wanted a full order of a series of this version of the Ravagers.
Same.
It's like, they nailed everyone. It was perfect. Holy crap, was this so good? Oh man.
So the deviation is abducting T'Challa means the Ravagers become like actual guardians of the galaxy.
Yeah. They become amazing. And it's like they go through all this stuff like T'Challa talked down Thanos.
Only he can do that.
And Thanos is a Ravager. Again, if this was not written so well, everything in this episode would seem so ham-fisted, but it's written and delivered so well. They make T'Challa out to be excuse my language, the coolest motherfucker in the entire galaxy.
And they make Thanos to be a joke.
Yeah, and they're just calmly like, okay, it's random. It's not genocide because you wouldn't know what was happening. They just calmly talk about how he was ready to kill people, and then he's just sipping martinis with them in a bar now. I couldn't get over. Every time a new scene came up, I just couldn't get over how ridiculous it was. And then I'm just like, I buy it. The way they're presenting it, it works.
Howard the Duck.
Again, they got Seth Green back to do it. They got everyone back, basically, except for Chris Pratt.
Oh yeah, that wasn't Chris Pratt.
I don't remember who it was. Oh, and they didn't get Dave Bautista.
Okay, that one I knew because Batista made a thing about it on Twitter.
What'd he say?
He just said like, "Oh, they didn't ask me to come back,"
Oh,
and then
that's
James
weird.
Gunn replied, "Wait, what? How?"
That's weird. Okay, but yeah, because they got everyone else. That's weird. Anyway, but like, man, let's just go through it. The remix of that first scene when they're leading up with that fight, he's like, "Should I use the?" They also nailed James Gunn's type of like humor even correctly. Like, should I use the gun? Is it too much? Should I put the gun down? What are we doing here? And
and then when he punches T'Challa, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that." He's like, "It's okay. It's why we're here.
Why we're here. Now do that, but faster." And like the Ravagers are helping him. They're picking up stowaways. They recruit freaking Korath. I
Okay,
can't get over it.
one thing we can talk about. Were you expecting this to be a heist film?
No. I don't know what I was expecting this to be, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Yeah, this is a straight up intergalactic heist.
Yeah. And like it sets up this was borderline Ocean's 11 with the freaking Ravagers.
And I gotta know who composed the score too, because that was just so good.
Yeah, man. Also, we'll get to it when we get to the people that were in the.
Okay, the composer was Laura Cartman.
Laura Cartman. She did great.
Everything
in this was off the charts. And again, remember how I said some stuff in the animation looked wonky?
Yeah.
In Carter? Nothing. I think they just had to work out some kinks. This thing was chef kiss beautiful. Some of the most beautiful animation I've ever seen in my life.
I think what works about this is they really got the lighting down. And because this takes place in I guess the seedier underground of the galaxy, they were able to use a lot of like neon colors.
Yep.
Like they really shot this thing like film noir, but in outer space.
And one thing I will say about whatever engine or style they're using for this animation, it does a lot better when they can use more colors. Because I think that was part of the issue with Captain Carter. A lot of that was darker. So that could be the problem, maybe. Because this thing seems like it's fine-tuned to be ecstatic and just off the charts.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, I don't know who came up. Like, I have to look back at who wrote this or who came up with the initial idea for T'Challa becoming Star-Lord. But,
so the writer of this episode was Matthew Chuntsey.
Yeah, let that guy come up with some more stuff. I don't know if he wrote all these or if he just wrote this one. But, wow.
Yeah, no, the first one was written by A.C. Bradley. All of these are directed by Brian Andrews.
Okay, got it. Okay. So the same, that makes sense. And then get the different writing team going through there. But yeah, it's, man, just setting up the heist, the fact that the Black Order is now like goons to the Collector, and the Collector is like a buff, jacked up like mob boss now. Like Chad Collector. What is this?
Well, you see, when Thanos is out of the picture, someone's got to take his place.
Exactly. It's like, and the fact that they got Del Toro, like, of any of them that were going to be the most busiest or probably not come back, I was very shocked they got Del Toro to come back to voice this.
I'm so happy it was him.
He was having the time of his life, from what I could see.
Everyone who's like reprising their roles, they sound more more energized.
They do. It's like they knew they were going to have fun. We're like, wait, we're doing what? What's the storyline of this? Oh, it's just random? Awesome. Let's do this.
Like, did you ever in a million years see fucking T'Challa and Howard the Duck interacting?
No. I didn't see T'Challa and the Ravagers interacting, let alone fucking Howard the Duck. And it's just... the little things about his character. Like, he doesn't like being referred to as Star-Lord. I love that. Like, he thinks the title's too much for him. I can't get over, like, this and Captain America are the most nailed personifications. Like, they nail his characterization as the Black Panther, as Star-Lord.
Yeah, he's well-read. He's, like, he's got wisdom for days. Everyone in the universe loves him.
Yeah, he's respected by everyone. He saved Drax. He's like getting pictures with him for him and his daughter. Whoever the guy was that voiced Drax did a great job copying Dave Bautista's mannerisms.
It's a voice actor I adore. His name is Fred Tatasciore.
What else has he done that I recognize?
He's voiced the Incredible Hulk in like Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Oh, okay.
He does a lot of like additional voices. Yeah, in Earth's Mightiest Heroes, he did Hulk, Graviton, Mandrill, Yanrog, Thing, Volstagg.
Holy crap. I love Earth's Mightiest Heroes. No, yes, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I was making sure I wasn't talking about Avengers Assemble because I don't like it. But anyway, yeah, all this was just off the charts good. Looking through, like, and again, stuff you don't recognize. I have to ask, was that Thane in that cage? Was that Thanos' son?
When do you see him?
He's the one that T'Challa walks by that you see a real good look at him, and he just makes contact and looks up. And man, I have to wonder if I can get a snapshot of this.
If it's the first one, I thought that was Malekith.
Is that Malekith? I thought that was Thane. I could be wrong because his skin looked purple. Thane, Marvel, what if? They wouldn't be that kind to me, would they? And now I can't find a real good version of, because, like, here we go. Hold on. I was like, it looks really close. I don't know, but that could have been Malekith. I really thought that was Thane. But I didn't know if all of a sudden they're going to be like, here's a character you've literally never seen in Marvel before. Ta-da! I was like, yeah, I don't know how ballsy they were getting.
That's why I thought it was Malekith, because in that interview I watched, like pretty much the only things they were playing with are characters that we've seen before.
Okay, all right, then maybe it wasn't Thane. I got really excited there for a second, but yeah, and like you said, Howard the Duck, he has its own personal bar in it there for himself to get things for like drinks. The fact you get the freaking fight with Korath and all that, and then just getting to see like the random ship inside of there, all the little touches throughout this whole episode. We could go scene by scene by scene on everything. I loved everything about this episode. And the cool thing that they do, and it's the reason why I love Guardians of the Galaxy 2 so much, is the father-son relationship with Yondu and T'Challa. And I cry every time I watch that movie. They play off, like, you don't need to understand or see backstory between T'Challa and Yondu, because there's already a prerequisite of you knowing how close Star-Lord and Yondu should be. And this is a Star-Lord and Yondu that didn't break up and had problems. These are ones that have been tight-knit and close since day one. I'm like, and then all of a sudden they're going through all this, and they get the backstab when they have to save him. And he comes back and he's like, Ravagers never fight alone. He gets that, or never fly solo. And you get the second time of Yondu coming back in. And he's like, there's no way I was leaving here without my kid. I'm like, I started crying again. I'm like, you son of a bitches, you pulled it off twice.
And even just the scene where they were fighting, where like after he finds the ship, he gets thrown in prison, and he's like, you lied to me.
Yep.
That whole scene is for an episode that was like mostly comedic. When it did get dramatic, you felt the gravitas of that scene and of Bozeman.
Yeah, dude. Like, and I guess they were saying something where there was some interview where like T'Challa or Chadwick was one of the first people to be like, hey, I want to be in What If. I want to be a part of this because I want to get T'Challa out there as much as I can because he's a great representation. And this is the gold standard. I like this set the bar real freaking high for what they have to do. Or I'm like saying, if they want to do their best work in this animation world, this is the top that they have to try and achieve. And they said it in the second episode. So I'm excited to see if this is their second episode, what the rest of them could be. Because, man, this might be my favorite thing involving Black Panther. And he's not even Black Panther.
Right?
This is crazy how well done this was.
So I don't know if you heard this news, but after this series, Marvel has created like a branch specifically for animated projects.
Good. Do more of this. Good Lord. Because
I think if they now, to be fair, I don't want every show to be like in just this style, but
no.
What I like about What If so far is that it doesn't look like anything that either Marvel or DC have done before.
Nope.
It looks fresh. It looks like it has its own unique flair to it.
Yep. It's like the cell shading and different things. Like the way they do skin textures. Like it was so weird, but every time you got to see the side of Yondu's head with the scarring and stuff like that, that was so cool. And just the little details, they nailed it in here. But it's like, yeah, they could do other ones. And I'm like, if they want to do some darker ones, like some non-continuity things, like I would still be a fan if in their animated division, they want to be like, hey, this is completely 1,000% non-canon. Like 1,000%. We're going to get some non-Hollywood bigwigs. We're going to get some like people that are diehard to the core, only voice actors. And we're going to be like, hey, did you like something like, let's say, Civil War? We had the movie. What if we just did the actual comic, but as an animated 2 to 3 part movie?
I'm trying to see who voiced Black Panther in the recent Avengers DLC. Just to get an idea of.
Oh, I know his name. I gave up on the game, but I was very happy that DLC finally came out. Crap.
Oh, I got it. Christopher Judge.
Christopher Judge. Yes. He's awesome. But yeah, it's one thing I've never understood. Like the animation stuff for Marvel in the early days only ever happened when they gave it to other studios. Like Fox or Sony. And then they had the exact same look for all of them then, and then now they've got this look here. But like you said, they could make them different, make it get this animated division going. Like, just keep it. The only thing, man, I ask is keep it focused. They've been very good at staying focused on the main goal of what they want to make for their stuff in everything. Even with these TV shows, give or take, Netflix stuff got a little bit iffy at points, but they've gone out of their way to never mention anything on Netflix ever in the main movies, except for if they randomly start throwing them in with this multiverse stuff, they might change that. But they've been very tight-knit in like laser focus with this stuff, and just have a clear goal of this animation studio, because you could make some cool shit like this.
Yeah.
And
I'm serious. Like, I know Marvel probably won't make this into a full series because, you know, Chadwick Boseman has become like kind of like permanent. He's become kind of like permanently attached to the MCU version of T'Challa.
mm-hmm.
But I just want more of this universe.
I do. Do you think that if Chadwick would not have passed, that they would have made a series out of this?
All things being equal, like if he had a clean bill of health, oh hell yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so too.
In fact, I almost think like the the point of What If is in some ways kind of like a test, like
pilots.
Yeah, like a pilot factory for potential new series.
Yeah, it could be, but because, man, I never in a million years, I was like, Black Panther joining the Ravagers, I was like, this is Chadwick's last thing. I think this is going to be cool, but this is one of those ones where I'm like, it's really out there. I think it'll be all right. I think I will like it. I didn't think coming off of it that I would like T'Challa more as Star-Lord than I like Peter Quill.
I think it just comes down to he's he's more likable.
He is.
He's more likable. He's more competent as a hero.
Yeah. And give or take, like, they got Star-Lord for the role of what they wanted to be, and then you throw someone else in this. It's just like the person, given the situation they were put in, took two very different ways of dealing with it. And yeah, they also made the Collector like the most powerful dude ever. He just had Hela's helmet.
Yeah, he had the helmet. He had Cap's shield.
Pretty sure he had Thor's hammer in there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw
that was Korg's arm, wasn't it?
Yep.
Unreal. How much of a buff the Collector got. Not just like, I can't get over how they turned the Collector into a himbo, pretty much. It was off the charts how much of a radical transformation he made, and it just worked.
Right.
Man. But I hope every year, or maybe every half a year, or whatever they do, that they have more what ifs. Because with this, I think this, like, I need one or two more before I can say it, but if they're all this good a quality, this is going to be my favorite Disney Plus Marvel thing.
I mean, it would it would be a little predictable for the animation guy to say this is my favorite, but at the same time, if they stay this, if they're, hell, even if they're even half as good as this episode, then yeah, this will be up there.
This will be up there because, like, they have this thing down to a T, and it can only get better for whatever they're using or whoever's in their animation department. They deserve a round of applause for this, man, because you're gonna, and I don't know if when this got done or when this was animated and corresponding. How long ago did Chadwick pass?
It was around this time last year.
This time last year. Okay. I don't know how long it takes to animate these, but like I don't know if I'd imagine they're all of good quality, but I don't know if all of a sudden they're like, we're taking time. We're making sure this thing is beautiful. Because the scale jump from Carter to this is crazy. Carter didn't look bad. I will not say look bad. Like I said, Toby Jones looked a little bleh, but this on every level was about 5 times better animated.
Episode 1 was the proof of concept. This is like confirmation of execution.
Yes. I could just keep going on about how much this was just. This was the entire time I watched it, I just had a pure sense of joy in me. And it's been a while since I've just watched something outside of my regular comfort shows, like Gurren and a couple other things that I watch all the time that I just know from the start I'm going to love every beat of it. And then there's just this, like I turned it on and I was smiling. I just felt good. Everything was great through the whole thing. It was just pure joy the whole time.
Honestly, yeah, I feel the same way.
They struck gold with this, and I cannot say it enough, Chadwick. I'm going to miss you, dude. Your contributions with this character, the way you present yourself, and representation you've given through this character, it's never going to be forgotten, ever.
He poured his heart into this.
Absolutely. And he knew he wasn't letting it on to a whole lot of people what he was going through. And the fact that he was to the very end giving to everyone else through all of that stupid horseshit that got posted about how he's not looking at good health. Why isn't he taking care of himself? Well, he kept to himself and did nothing but churn out content for everyone else that was making asinine comments about how he looked on social media, snapping pictures of him when he was just trying to live his life. He was going out of his way to get a representation out and make content for everyone else. We do not come across often pure human beings like that. There's nowhere near enough of them in the world, and we don't get to keep them for long enough, ever. Just rest in peace, Chad. God, I'm crying. Oh, I'm gonna miss you, man. Fuck. But needless to say, I think me and Mike really liked this episode.
Yep.
My God. Oh.
So the next one, we don't know what the next one's going to be. It might be that what if Ultron got the Infinity Gauntlet?
I assume it's either that one or the Zombies one, because those are the ones they've had the most prominent show of artwork for.
I'm not sure if we're gonna get Zombies that soon. If it's not the next one, it might be like 4 or 5.
Okay, yeah. Because I've only the one with Gamora, I've only seen the pose of her. I've seen a couple of shots of the one with Ultron. I've seen a couple of different models of what the people are going to look like with the zombies. And then it's basically just episode descriptions for the other ones. Did a couple of keyframes of art. Also the concept art for these. I'm pretty sure this concept art at the end just all looks great.
Oh, yeah. All the backgrounds, like the landscapes, those are the things that even in the first episode I really enjoyed.
Yeah. Oh, people. I know this is dumb and redundant. If you're watching this, you watch the episode, obviously, but talk to everyone into watching this. If they are any fan of Marvel at all, or just Black Panther period, or just of Chadwick Boseman, get them to watch this. Yeah. There's not much better of like, obviously he could have done some big tentpole biopic on some important person or whatever, but it's just like, man,
The fact that this is how he closed. The fact that this is how he closed out his career is
it's great.
It shows like it shows how much he cared about like not just his own, like not just himself, but like he was very aware of like the impact that he had on others.
Mm-hmm. It's enough to where they're just like, so yeah, he's not getting recasted. It's just like, hard stop, we're just changing how Black Panther 2 happens. And like, I had a feeling that eventually Shuri was going to become Black Panther, or however they refer that to be. But it's just like, it was immediately, yeah, so nope, they're just like, hard stop, not happening. I don't think there was anyone at Marvel that was even like, don't even mention the word castings, because it's not happening. And any big budget movie studio could have been in like at any other time would just be like, no, he's getting recast. And this is like,
nope,
no one even mention it or you're fired. Not happening. But yeah, we're approaching 40 minutes here, but this is, like I said, it's the best Marvel thing animation wise they've ever put out, give or take. They do not quite have the what do I want to say, collection of stuff to base it off of like DC does. But they've got some stuff, and they've got some pretty spectacular things. Like in the 90s, they were putting out banger after banger, but nothing.
Yeah, Marvel hasn't been as consistent with animation that DC has, but to be fair, Marvel hasn't really been its own entity.
Yeah.
For as long as DC has been under Warner Brothers.
It is true. And now it's gotten to a weird point to where obviously more money's being poured into it than they do for the DC animated movies. It's now gotten to the point of where it's like, okay, we're now producing the borderline Shakespearean masterpiece worth of like superhero content in animation on this side of the fence. Like,
yeah, after this, I hope DC steps it up.
They're gonna have to, because some people at Warner Brothers, after seeing this, have to be going, shit. Like, how we're gonna launch Infinite Crisis in a year? It's a random what if this happened. But yeah, we're gonna just ramble if we keep going here. So Mike, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at CaptainK42. You can check out all my Letterboxd quick thoughts at letterboxd.com/CoachK42. Find me in all the various Facebook groups just at my name. You can check out Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. You can also look for us on Podchaser, listen to all of our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we.
Yes, and you can find me at Organoid Zero everywhere, streaming mostly on Twitch, and then I do a lot of stuff with Mike basically everything on my YouTube channel to do with Mike, actually. And I've been streaming Donkey Kong on Wednesdays. And then, depending on how long it takes, I'll probably be doing Ghost of Tsushima again on next Friday, and then Mass Effect again on Mondays. Having a lot of fun playing back through Donkey Kong 64. Forgot how much I just absolutely love that game. Nintendo, make another freaking 3D Donkey Kong platformer, you cowards. But yeah, we're gonna head on out of here. We will see you guys in the next one. Bye.